I'm Heather, and this story is about my mother-in-law, Olivia. At the time when this entire thing happened, I wasn't married to Mason. I was in a relationship with him and later got engaged to him. Olivia hated me from the very beginning and told Mason that she didn't want to see my face. Why? Because I grew up in a trailer home while they came from a fairly wealthy family. Mason was actually running his family business, so he was pretty loaded. We met in college and fell in love, and it was true that I didn't grow up in a decent home, but my parents had taught me well and encouraged me to get out of that mess. I landed a good scholarship and worked my butt off to make sure I don't have student loans. I succeeded in life and landed a great job after college. Sadly, my parents didn't get to see that because they had already passed away. Mason had become my family when we started to date. I was really happy with him because, unlike others, he never judged me for my background. He was a kind, loving man, and I was so excited to meet his family. But I knew his mother, Olivia, didn't like me. So Mason didn't want me to meet her so soon. We ended up moving in together after 3 years and started our life in the new home. When Olivia came to visit Mason, she was shocked and angry to see me there. She said, "What is she doing here?" "She lives with me, Mom. We stay together now." "No, absolutely not, Mason. That woman needs to go. What were you even thinking of moving in with her? I let you have fun with her, but that is it. I cannot accept your relationship, and you need to end it right now." "Well, you will have to accept it because she will be your daughter-in-law soon." "You can't be serious. She can't be our daughter-in-law, Mason." "What? Why, what's the matter, Mom?" "What's wrong, Mason? Are you really asking me what's wrong? This woman actually belongs with trash. She is not suitable for a high-class family like us." "Why are you being so classist, Mom? Heather is a great woman and anyone would be happy to have her." "I don't think anyone would be happy to have a gold digger as a wife, Mason. You should have known better than to get with trailer trash." I was taken aback and super offended by Olivia's words. She was straight up calling me trailer trash. It brought me back to my childhood when kids refused to play with me because their parents said that I wasn't on their level. I was subjected to relentless bullying because my parents couldn't afford to live in a good house. It also took me back to college where everyone would look down on me for being dirt poor. Olivia made me feel those nasty feelings again that I didn't want to feel anymore. So I stepped into the conversation and said, "With all due respect, Olivia, I might have grown up in the trailers, but I am much more than that. I have a respectable job and have done pretty well for myself. I don't know why you're trying to paint me as a homeless woman." "I am not talking to you, Heather. I don't like wasting my time addressing people beneath my status. My discussion is with Mason, so you need to keep your mouth shut." "That is no way to talk to my future wife, Mom. No matter what you do or say, she will be the one I marry. You cannot stop me." "You are making a big mistake, son. You need to listen to me and leave her. I can get you someone much better than this trash of a woman." "That is enough, Mom. You are still standing here and standing because you are my mother. If this was someone else insulting Heather, I would have done something stupid by now. You need to stop before I lose my patience." "Oh my God, Mason. I can't even recognize you anymore. Are you really my son? How can you threaten your mother for a cheap woman? I can't believe this." "You better get used to this, Mom. Heather will be my wife, and I won't think twice before putting you in your place. Either you accept her as your daughter-in-law or keep your mouth shut. Insulting my future wife is not an option." Olivia looked shocked and was red in the face from shame and anger. She really couldn't believe that her own son was defending me against her. She tried to make him take her side. Mason was adamant that he didn't want to hear any of her dumb logic. I just stood there with tears in my eyes because the past came rushing back to my brain. Mason had noticed that and got rid of his mother as soon as he could. Once she was gone, he held me and said, "I am so sorry, Heather. I had no idea she would react this badly to us living together." Her words really hurt Mason. I know that I'm not worthy of you, but I'm doing my best to make up for my rough upbringing. Don't ever say that again, Heather. You are absolutely worthy of much more than me. I'm lucky that I have such an amazing partner like you. I'm serious about what I told my mother. I am going to marry you very soon. But your mother doesn't want you to be with me, Mason. She hates me. This will just spoil your relationship. I already know that's a possibility, Heather, but don't worry, it won't be a problem for me. My mom is a nasty woman and I can't support her or give in to her demands with a clear conscience. You would really do that for me, Mason? Yup, that's what I would do. Besides, I love you, and she should value that over her one prejudice. If she really loves me so much, she would consider her happiness over her horrible thinking. I was glad to have Mason on my side. His mother might be a nasty woman, but at least Mason was a nice man. I was willing to deal with Olivia for Mason's sake, but I also wasn't a doormat. I was prepared to make a stand for myself if Olivia stepped out of line when Mason wasn't there to defend me. I realized that I need to work on my self-confidence and stand up for myself. People like Olivia would always judge and walk all over me if I wasn't mentally strong. So I also ended up joining therapy to deal with people like her. A few months passed, and Olivia kept begging Mason to break up with me. She was absolutely a cruel woman who couldn't look above her high status. What was funny was that even though she was quite educated and came from a rich family, her thoughts were cheap. But she thought I was the cheap one because I couldn't help but be born to poor parents. Anyway, Mason dealt with her quite well, and she didn't bother me for a few months. Her antics started back up again when Mason and I announced our engagement online. Yes, he had proposed to me and given me the ring of my dreams. It was perfect and even had our names engraved inside the band. He had taken me on my favorite hiking trail and proposed to me with a few friends around. It was truly a magical experience for me. But when we finally announced our engagement, all hell broke loose. Olivia actually personally texted me to say, "You think you'll snatch my son away and I won't do anything about it? Think again, Heather." I don't understand why you're being so prejudiced, Olivia. Can't you see that I make your son very happy? I don't care how you have managed to trick my son. I will never support this engagement because you don't belong in our prestigious family. You better move away from my son on your own, or there would be consequences. Bring it on, Olivia. I tried to be nice to you despite your horrible thinking. You showered me with insults. But I kept quiet because I didn't want to destroy your relationship with Mason. But now, I will not remain quiet and let you disrespect me. Oh, I will see what you can do, Heather. You are nothing but a worthless gold digger. I won't let my son fall into your trap. I will get the family involved as well. Let's see what happens when no one is on your side. Olivia kept her promise and started to get family members involved. She told various family members that I was a gold digger and had sunk my claws into Mason. She also said I was immoral and my family was a bunch of imbeciles. She spread a lot of nasty rumors about me, and I got a variety of hate messages from family members. Not everyone believes her, though. The people who have met me and know me personally actually helped me and Mason restore my reputation. Still, a few family members told Mason that they wouldn't support our marriage or come to the wedding. Mason and I were a mess dealing with Olivia's horrible ways. We got so fed up with Olivia that we ended up not inviting her to our engagement party. It was a tough decision, but we made it after a lot of discussions. Mason and I agreed that we could not let Olivia destroy our engagement party too. So we avoided inviting her altogether. It didn't take her long to find out. In a twist of events, Olivia actually called Mason and told him that she wanted to come. Mason had put her on loudspeaker, so I heard what she told him. Olivia said, "I didn't get an invite to your engagement party, Mason. When will I get it?" "You're not getting an invite, Mom." "What are you talking about, Mason? It's your engagement party and you won't even invite me?" "No, I won't invite you because you've been nothing but cruel to my fiancé." "Why do you want to attend anyway, since you were so against my engagement and marriage?" "Look, Mason, I'm sorry, okay? I want to be there for you because this is an important milestone in your life. Maybe I overreacted and wasn't thinking straight." "Well, you made a big mistake, Mom. It is hard for us to look past it." "Can't you give me a chance? I will try to be civil at the party. Since you have decided to marry her anyway, it's not like I can stop you. I want to make peace. Please let me come to the party." "I will discuss this with my fiancé and tell you our decision, Mom. She is the victim here, so I need her approval before I do anything." "Very well, Mason, if that's what you want. I will wait for your answer. Please don't let me down. I'm willing to have a cordial relationship with Heather. Consider that when you make your decision." After Olivia hung up on Mason, we talked about it in detail. I was a little skeptical about inviting Olivia, and so was Mason, but we ultimately decided to send her an invite. Look, she said that she was willing to be cordial, and we didn't want to deny her this chance. We could always rethink our stance if she messed up. It was our duty to give her at least one chance and see if she was willing to change. With that logic in mind, Mason and I agreed to have Olivia at the party. At that time, I had no idea about the drama that was waiting for me at the party. We sent my soon-to-be mother-in-law an invite, and she expressed her gratitude to Mason for giving her a chance. She was acting like a changed woman and even stopped spreading rumors for a while. However, that was probably because she was afraid of the backlash that she was getting. Only a few people were on her side, so she didn't want to face the heat from others. So she stopped spreading nasty lies about me. I won't say that she suddenly started to say good things about me, because she didn't, but I was glad Olivia was keeping her mouth shut so that she wouldn't ruin my reputation anymore. On the day of the engagement party, I was actually pretty excited to have our family and friends around. Everyone we invited had made time to attend, and I was glad that they could make it. Mason was also super happy about our engagement, and together we were having a good time. Olivia was there, but she was mostly ignoring me, sitting in the corner and giving me nasty looks. Her face had soured the moment she had spotted my engagement ring. Anyway, I ignored her and was busy attending to my guests. Meanwhile, Olivia was fuming and making plans to get back at me. Olivia got the opportunity to corner me when I went out the back door of the venue. I was trying to make a phone call because I couldn't hear anything inside the venue. When the call was done, I saw Olivia waiting for me. I said, "What are you doing here, Olivia? Do you want something?" "I came to talk to you alone." "Okay, what do you want to talk about?" Olivia silently took my hand and held it up to study my engagement ring. She looked at it with envy and said in an acidic voice, "You are over the moon, aren't you, Heather? My son has spared no expense when it comes to the engagement ring. It is truly beautiful." "Thank you, Olivia. It is a beautiful piece and I love it. Mason even engraved our name inside the band." "He is smitten with you. I don't know what he sees in you. I'm sure you have tricked him into marrying him somehow." "You promised to have a cordial relationship with me, Olivia. Your words say otherwise. You need to stop being condescending." "I will do whatever I want. I told you, Heather, you will suffer for taking away my son and keeping him in your filthy clutches. You love this engagement ring, don't you? Well, you don't deserve it. I could tell that Olivia was going crazy again. I felt really unsafe around her and tried to remove my hand from hers. But she held on painfully tight and in a swift motion got my engagement ring off my finger. The ring was a little loose and I didn't get the time to resize it, so it came right off when Olivia pulled it off my finger. Then she left my hand and tossed the ring in the dump. There was a big dumpster at the back of the venue, which had a ton of food waste from the food that was being prepared for my guests. I frantically went to look into the dumpster and there was no sign of the ring. It had probably sunk into the food waste and lost to the eye. I started to get tears in my eyes when I couldn't find my engagement ring. Behind me, Olivia was laughing and said, "Oh my God, you look pathetic bending over the dumpster like that. But I must say that it suits you." "Why did you do this, Olivia? What is wrong with you?" "You don't deserve such an expensive engagement ring. Having the ring on your finger is as good as throwing it in the dump." "It wasn't some random ring, Olivia. It was my freaking engagement ring. You threw it away for nothing. How will I find it now?" "It's not my problem, Heather. Maybe you can dumpster dive. I'm sure you are already familiar with it. It won't be a problem with you." I was frantically looking for the ring as Olivia continued to laugh at me. I was crying tears of sadness while using my phone as a flashlight to look for the ring. I felt very helpless at the moment, and that's when I saw Mason coming up from the front with a worried look in his eyes. I was gone for a while, so I guess he came looking for me. Olivia had her back turned to him, so she didn't see me. I didn't bother telling her as she laughed and made fun of me. She said, "Good luck trying to find your ring, Heather. Looks like it's lost for good." "You have no idea what you've done, Olivia." "I had warned you and told you not to mess with me. You should have listened to me, but you decided to get engaged to my son anyway. I just did what I had promised. Now you won't get your precious ring back." "Is that so, Mom?" Olivia froze as Mason said this in a very angry voice. She immediately knew she had messed up. Olivia was so overcome with anger and maybe jealousy that she didn't think twice before doing something extremely stupid. She had forgotten the fact that Mason was on my side and he wouldn't let this incident slide. When she heard Mason's voice, she froze and suddenly remembered that her son wasn't going to take her crappy actions lightly. She turned around slowly to face a very angry Mason and said, "Mason, You just what, Mom? Did you think it would be a good idea to throw my fiancé's engagement ring in the dumpster?" I wasn't thinking, Mason. I'm sorry. I was a little frustrated and I snapped." "You are sorry, Mother? Then explain to me why you kept saying horrible things to my fiancé and laughing at her when she was frantically trying to find the ring." I'm sorry, Mason. I'm sorry." Olivia was a scaredy cat when it came to her son. When Mason talked to her in a hard voice and confronted her directly, she burst into tears and started to sob. I was also sobbing, looking for my ring, but Mason stood beside me and brought me away from the dumpster. He then looked at his mother and said, "Find the ring and get it out of the dumpster, Mom." "What? You want me to find the ring?" "Are you deaf, Mom? Do I really have to repeat myself again? Get the ring out of the dumpster." "No, I can't do that. I can't touch trash. My dress and jewelry would be dirty. I'm not a trash-picking woman. It's Heather's ring, so she can go get it. You threw the ring into the dumpster, so you will retrieve it." "That is impossible, Mason. I can't believe you would tell your mother to look through the trash. I have a status, Mason. You can expect me to do this?" "You will do this, or we are done, Mom. I will remove you from my life forever. Do you want that to happen, Mom?" Olivia looked horrified when Mason told her to get my ring out of the dump. I was surprised at Mason's demand as well. It was a good punishment, to be honest, but I wasn't expecting him to be so adamant about it. Olivia was refusing to dive into the dumpster because of her prestigious name or something. It didn't matter to her that she was the one who threw my ring in the dumpster. She was just not willing to get it back. But when Mason threatened to cut her off from his life, she was shocked. She panicked and said, "You can't be serious, Mason. You can't just cut me off for a stupid ring." "You know that I do what I say, Mom. Don't test my patience." "You can't expect your mother to dive into the dumpster, Mason." "You will get the ring back or you will never be in my life again, Mom. This is your last chance to make a choice." Mason was super angry and his tone gave it away. Olivia tried to beg and plead with Mason not to make her do this. A few people came out and told Olivia that she needed to do what he said. She had been cornered and no one was on her side. She tried to make Mason show her mercy, but when she realized how serious he was, she reluctantly stepped into the dumpster to get my ring. It was funny to see her expensive dress and heels covered in garbage as she cried and tried to find the ring. After like 45 minutes, she found the ring and got out of the garbage bin. Mason then made her wash it before handing it to me. I was elated to get my ring back and didn't care what happened to Olivia next. I already had fun seeing her dumpster dive after calling me trash. It was truly satisfying. But more karma was in store for Olivia. Olivia was crying and telling Mason how unfair he had been towards her. That was when Mason looked her dead in the eye and said, "I don't care what you think, Mom. I did what I had to do to make sure my future wife was respected." "You were willing to destroy your relationship with your mother over a stupid girl, Mason? How could you ever think that?" "I wasn't just thinking that, Mom. That's what I am going to do." "Wait, what? What do you mean?" "I'm disowning you, Mom. I don't want you in my life anymore." No, you can't do that. You promised you wouldn't do it if I got the ring back." "Well, you too said that you would have a cordial relationship with Heather if I invited you to the party. You didn't keep your word, so why should I?" Olivia was shocked when Mason threw her own actions back in her face. At this point, she had truly realized that she had messed up. She cried loudly and tried to hold Mason's hand. She was begging him to forgive her and not cut her off. Mason remained cold and even moved away from her. Olivia begged and begged, but nothing moved Mason. Then she turned to me and tried to beg me for forgiveness. I laughed when she said, "I'm sorry, Heather. I swear I won't do this again. Please tell Mason to forgive me. I know you are a great girl and will give me a chance." "You already got a chance from me and you blew it, Olivia. I'm not going to give you another. You deserve this." "How can you say that, Heather? I'm about to lose my precious son because of you." "These are the consequences of your own actions, Olivia. Remember how you were so happy that I lost my precious ring and couldn't get it back? Well, now you will lose your precious son, and this is all your fault," I said, and went back inside the venue with Mason and everyone. Olivia stayed outside because Mason had kicked her out of the party and told her that if she didn't leave, he would get the security involved. That was the last time I saw Olivia because Mason, my now husband, kept his word and disowned her completely.